Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl DFS slate for Wednesday, December 7th. We got ourselves a 7-game slate here tonight. One of the better Wednesday slates that I can remember in quite some time. And as always, I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. And then we'll wrap up the video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 3 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 6.5 goals, and then the other 4 games all coming in at 6 goals even. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that first line for the Boston Bruins. We got Bergeron centering Marchand and DeBrusk. Bruins got a great matchup on the road here tonight against the Colorado Avalanche, and I know we don't say that often, but this Avalanche team has injuries all across their roster right now. This Bruins team actually just beat the Avs on Saturday 5-1, and that was when the Avalanche did have Nathan MacKinnon. Then MacKinnon got hurt next game. It sounds like he's going to miss the next 4 weeks, so the Avalanche are even more injury-riddled than we saw just this past weekend. So I love the matchup for the Bruins in general here tonight, and I like this line in general. They've been solid all year long. All 3 of these guys play big minutes together 5-on-5, and I'll play up on that number 1 power play, so a very strong correlated line stack here. Plus, I do believe they're due for some positive regression, which is kind of crazy to think considering the numbers they have put up this year, but these are 3 guys who have at least a Corsi percentage of 61%. DeBrusk is at 61%, Bergeron and Marchand are both at 65%, controlling pace of play, controlling puck possession, and they should have no problem doing that against the Avs tonight. And Bergeron and DeBrusk here actually have more expected goals than they have actual goals this year, hence the reason I think they're due for some positive regression. And then a cheaper line stack I like here tonight is that second line for the Buffalo Sabres. We got Cousins centering Peterka and Quinn. Now, I really like that first line as well for the Sabres tonight. Tage Thompson centering Jeff Skinner and Alex Tuch. I'll 100% have exposure to those guys as well, but considering how cheap and how well this second line is played, I wanted to talk about these guys. It's actually insane how cheap they are considering the numbers they put up here as of late. The 3 have now combined for 13 goals, 17 assists, 30 points in their past 10 games, essentially averaging 3 points per game, and I love the matchup for them to expand on that here tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are not only playing on back-to-back nights after losing 4-1 to Pittsburgh last night, but this is a team that's given up 3.96 goals per game this season, the second most in the NHL. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I got hockey content coming out for you guys all year long. For those of you who are on Discord, don't forget I got a channel there as well, a great group of people talking some hockey. If you want to join that, there's a link in the description below. And for those of you who are on Twitter, if you want to give me a follow here, I am occasionally posting some NHL bets as well. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. First guy I got there is Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. Him and McDavid are both priced up here tonight. McDavid is $9,800. It's hard to play these guys when they're priced up like this, but it's not impossible either. For example, you could play both McDavid and Draisaitl here tonight with that second line for the Buffalo Sabres, and you have enough money left over to pay up for a decent goaltender and mix in some value plays throughout. But it is tough, it certainly is, but I also think they are playable here tonight in this matchup at home against the Arizona Coyotes, who are once again one of the worst teams in the NHL. They've given up 3.43 goals per game this season. That's the 11th most in the NHL, but anytime you're giving up 3.5 goals per game, that's going to catch my attention, and I don't really need to advocate for Draisaitl or McDavid. These guys put up points against everybody, but let's just take a look at Draisaitl here. Yeah, 42 points in 26 games, not bad at all, and him and McDavid continue to play on that first line together in number 1 power play, so they are very strongly correlated. I then got Patrick Laine there of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I think we could probably just game stack this game between the Blue Jackets and Sabres here tonight. I talked about how bad the Blue Jackets have been defensively, and goaltending has not been much better for them this season, allowing the second most goals per game. While for the Buffalo Sabres, it hasn't been much better either. They've allowed 3.68 goals per game this season, the 5th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's really struggled too, that's hit at just a 70.6% rate. So I like Columbus in general here tonight, particularly particularly that first line of Jenner centering Laine and Gaudreau. Laine's the shooter on that line. After returning from injury 3 games ago, he's now got 2 goals, 1 assist, and 15 shots on net. And then another game I think we could just stack up in general here tonight is that game between the Canucks and Sharks. So I got JT Miller and Logan Couture there. We'll start with JT Miller. Now, San Jose Sharks have allowed 3.57 goals per game this year, the 7th most in the NHL, and JT Miller now has points in 18 of his last 20 games. He has no problem getting on the score sheet, to say the least. He plays up on that first line, plays on the number 1 power play, and should log around 19-20 minutes here tonight. Plenty of opportunity and plenty of ice time for JT Miller. Honestly, my only downfall with him is he doesn't shoot the puck enough, only averages around 2 shots on net per game, but he's certainly capable of getting on the score sheet multiple times, especially against a team like this. And then on the other side of that game, I like Logan Couture, and really like anybody in that top 6 for the Sharks here tonight. Kind of the same approach for the Vancouver Canucks, but I wanted to highlight Couture here at $5,500. Think he is offering some value at this price. A guy who plays on the second line but plays up on the number 1 power play, should log around 18-19 minutes here. Had been playing some really good hockey. I don't want to say he's cooled off here, but he has just 2 assists in his past 3 games. However, if we look at his last 10 games, he's got 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points, averaging around 14.5 DraftKings points per game, almost 3x value at this current price. And the Vancouver Canucks have not been very good defensively this year, allowing 3.85 goals per game, 3rd most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 68.8% rate. Not very good. Now, I don't do this often, but I think this might be one of those slates where I attack the Arizona Coyotes and stack them up a little bit. This is 100% a tournament or GPP strategy. I wouldn't be doing this in a cash lineup, but I do like the matchup for the Coyotes here tonight on the road against the Edmonton Oilers, and another game that I think we could just game stack in general, because the Oilers, as much as they can find the back of the net and put in goals, they're not very good defensively, and goaltending has struggled once again. They've allowed 3.58 goals per game this season, the 6th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 70.3% rate, so they're struggling there as well. Now, this could be one of those games that just has some high-scoring shootout potential. Again, part of the reason I think that we could game stack it. I kind of like this first line here with Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz. Schmaltz here at $4,600 now has 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points through 8 games, but we've seen this out of him in the past. He's a very boom-bust type of player. He could get you 3 fantasy points here tonight, but he could also get you 20, 25 plus. He technically plays down on the second power play, but Arizona does a very good job of splitting up their top 2 power plays. So again, just one of those games I think we could target in general here tonight. Like I said, it's not often I stack up the Arizona Coyotes, but I kind of like the matchup for them here tonight against the Oilers. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, let's talk Jacob Chychrun for the first time this year. Now, he started the season on the IR, returned 7 games ago, so he's played the last 7 games here, where he has 3 goals and 3 assists already, on top of 31 shots on net. This guy is not afraid to shoot the puck, logs around 22-23 minutes per night, and gets time on the number 1 power play. As I just talked about with Schmaltz, Arizona does a very good job of splitting up their top 2 power plays, but needless to say, he is getting time on the number 1 power play and getting a little bit of time on the penalty kill as well. Again, I just really like this matchup in general tonight for the Arizona Coyotes against the Edmonton Oilers. I think we could see some fireworks in this game and quite a few goals scored. I then got Charlie McAvoy there of the Boston Bruins, who's been off to a hot start ever since he returned from the IR. He's now played 11 games where he's racked up 13 points, and 6 of those points have come on the power play. So that's where I'm looking to stack him up with guys like Bergeron, Marchand, DeBrusque, or even a Pasternak, who all play up on that number 1 power play, because again, they got a great matchup on the road here tonight against a very depleted Colorado Avalanche team. Now, some of you might be sick of me highlighting Noah Hanifin here of the Calgary Flames, but hey, if DraftKings is going to continue to price him in the 4K range, he's going to be on my radar. Such a well-rounded defenseman who can really rack up DraftKings points in a number of different ways. He's got 5 points here over his past 10, only averaging around 2 shots on net per game, but he's certainly capable of having 4 or 5 plus in a game, and he's very capable of getting you 3 plus block shots as well. getting you that 3-point DraftKings bonus. He's damn near averaging 2.5 block shots per game over his past 10 too. Should log around 22, 23 plus minutes here tonight, getting time on that number 2 power play and getting time on the penalty kill as well. And then wrapping up the defenseman there with Matt Benning of the San Jose Sharks. My favorite value play here tonight at this position at $3,000, and honestly was a little surprised he was still this cheap. Ever since being promoted to that second power play, he's got 3 assists here in his past 5 games, and he's hit 3+ block shots in 5 straight games as well. So if we take a look at his game log here over the past 5, he's hit 9.7 DraftKings points twice, 13.2, 13.4, and 14.9 DraftKings points. Absolutely crushing his current value at $3,000. We should see him play around 21 minutes here tonight while getting time on that number 2 power play, as I mentioned, on top of the penalty kill. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here, higher priced and lower priced options. Starting there with Linus Ullmark of the Boston Bruins. If Jeremy Swayman plays tonight, I'm driving down to the Pepsi Center, Ball Arena, whatever they call it now, and I'm going to kick him in the knee so Ullmark starts. I wish I had that access. But why is Jeremy Swayman still playing? Ullmark has been fantastic this year. He's lost just 1 game so far with a 14-1-0 record, a goals allowed average of 1.93, and a save percentage of .936, while having 10.6 goals save above expected, the 5th best in the NHL. And then I got Carter Hart there as a cheaper goaltender, GPP only for me to play him, but he has shown some really nice upside this year. If you go look at his game log from early October and really throughout October, he was playing some unbelievable hockey, 30+ DraftKings points in a handful of games, but then he cooled off pretty hard throughout the month of November. But I certainly don't mind the matchup at home here tonight against the Washington Capitals, who have not been an offensive juggernaut this year. So as a GPP play, for someone who's shown me 25, 30+ DraftKings point upside, he was my favorite low-priced goaltender play here tonight. And as always, going to wrap up this spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is Lawson Crouse of the Arizona Coyotes, playing on that second line in number 1 power play. Actually leads this Coyotes team in both goals with 10 this year and expected goals with 6.5. And again, just like that matchup in general tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. Next is Noah Cates there of the Philadelphia Flyers. This is 100% an opportunity play here because Cates was recently promoted to that first line, and it looks like he's going to play on the number 1 power play tonight as well. Now, he has just 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points through 26 games this year. So like I said, 100% an opportunity. Not someone who really shoots the puck all that much, but playing with Konechny and Hayes, 2 guys are certainly capable of finding the back of the net and getting on the score sheet. He might receive some of the benefits from just playing with those 2. And then Alexander Barabanov there of the San Jose Sharks, currently playing on that second line and up on the number 1 power play, has 16 points through 24 games, not bad at all considering the price, and he makes for a nice cheap little mini stack with Logan Couture. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys, but as I record this morning, they do not have the full set of picks out. As you can clearly see right now, don't have any goalie props out. I got some decent shots on goal props, but a lot of even numbers once again, as you can see there on the first row. Something I tend to avoid, but I'm going to go through these individually, and like I've done all year long, I'll let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. And don't forget, I am posting those in my Discord too, if you want to join that, link in the description below on this video. And for those of you who have not signed up for prize picks yet, but want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and PrizePicks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Again, you do not have to put $100 in. You want to put in 50, they'll match that 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match that 20 as well. They will match anything up to $100. Again, as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 7-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.